Good morning. Today, I'll be talking about inflation and rising cost of living in India. Imagine going to the market with rupees 500 and coming back with fewer items than before. This is something most of us are experiencing in our day-to-day life. This phenomena is called inflation, a sustained increase in the general price level of goods and services. In India, rising inflation has made daily life more expensive, especially for the middle class and low income households. In this video, we will understand the causes, impact, and possible solutions to this problem using key macroeconomic concepts. So, what is inflation? In macroeconomics, inflation is measured using indices like CPI, and according to Keynesian economics, inflation can arise when aggregate demand exceeds aggregate supply. This is called demand pull inflation. On the other hand, when production cost increases, such as cost of fuel or cost of raw materials, prices often rise. This is called cost push inflation. So let us understand the causes of inflation in India. There are multiple reasons why inflation is rising in India. First, the demand pull factors, increasing consumption, rising incomes, and government spending increases the aggregate demand. Second, the cost push factors. As you know, India is heavily dependent upon the imported crude oil. So when global oil prices rises, like it happens now when the Strait of Hormuz is closed by the Iranian regime, and hence the cost of crude oil has gone significantly upward. And so we will see the rise in the cost factor, and the cost push factors would be a very relevant factor here. Third, the supply chain disruptions, events like pandemics or geopolitical tensions reduces supply, pushing prices up. Finally, structural issues like inefficient agriculture and storage also contribute to food inflation. Impact on economy. So, inflation affects different groups differently. For consumers, especially the poor, it reduces purchasing power. For businesses, rising costs reduces profit margins. And from a from a macro perspective, according to the Phillips curve, there is often a short-term trade-off between inflation and unemployment. However, high inflation can create uncertainty, reduce investment, and slow economic growth. So, what are the solutions and what policy measures the government can adopt in order to control the inflation? So, to control the inflation, governments and central banks use several tools. The Reserve Bank of India used monetary policy like increasing interest rates to reduce money supply and demand. This aligns with monetarism, which emphasizes controlling money supply to manage inflation. The government can also use fiscal policy, reducing taxes and providing subsidies to ease the burden on the citizens. Improving supply chains, boosting domestic productions, and investing in infrastructure are long-term solutions. So, what are the barriers to adoption of such policy measures? In short term, policies like interest rate hikes can reduce inflation within months. In the medium term, supply side improvements may take 1 to 3 years. However, there are barriers like global oil prices, constraints, and implementation delays can limit the effectiveness of these measures. So, in conclusion, inflation is a complex but critical economic problem in India. While policies can control it, a balanced approach combining demand management and supply improvement is essential. Understanding inflation helps us make better financial decisions and also understand the economy in a broader perspective. Thank you.